Today's lesson is on limiting reagents. This is what we are going to touch next in class, so make sure you pay attention. Limiting reagents deals with reagents and products. And you have limiting reagents because, let's be honest, one of them controls what happens. And that's what we're talking about. So, if you have a grilled cheese sandwich, you have the bread, you have the cheese, and then you have the grilled cheese. Well, depending on how much bread or how much cheese you have, that is going to limit how many sandwiches you have. This is the same thing with chemistry. Based on the reagents, one of the reagents is going to limit how much the other one can do. So think of it like this. If you 2 pieces of bread for every 1 piece of cheese, so you get 1 B2, 2 pieces of bread with 1 cheese. But remember, we can go even higher. If we have 100 pieces of bread, 30 slices of cheese, which one do you think is going to limit how much grilled cheese sandwiches you can have if you put 1 slice of cheese on every 2 pieces of bread? Equals how many sandwiches? Grilled cheese, I know I'm making you hungry. If we look at it, we only have 30 slices of cheese, so we can only make 30 sandwiches. So we will have how much extra bread? We will have 40 extra slices of bread. So in this case, the limiting reagent would be right here. That is the limiting reagent of your compound because it limits how many we can make. Okay, grilled cheese sandwiches. How much excess reagent is used? Excess reagent is the non-limiting reagent. In this example, we made 30 sandwiches, so we used 60 pieces of bread, so we have 40 left over. So we use 60 slices of bread. How much excess reagent remains? How much is wasted in this reaction? 40 slices of bread. $100 pieces of bread plus 30 slices equals 30 sandwiches. Grilled cheese sandwich. What is the limiting reagent? As we talked about it, cheese is the limiting reagent. It contains excess bread. We have bread left over. So when you're thinking of limiting reagent, it's what is left over. What is, what are we going for? 100 pieces of bread, 30 slices. I'm hammering this piece. In most chemical reactions, one reagent is completely used up while the other is left over. How to identify the limiting reagent problem? You have information is given for 2 reactants. Limiting reagent used up in the reaction determines the amount of product we can have. Excess reagent added to ensure that the other reagent is completely used up. This is number 1. Go ahead and write this down, or sorry, type this up and turn it into Google Classroom at the end. Limiting reagent calculations. How in the world do we calculate all of this? we write a balanced chemical equation, step 1. Step 2, set up 2 separate stoichiometry calculations. You know what we've been doing in class all week? Stoichiometry. So you guys should be good. For each reagent, calculate the amount of product formed. So you can calculate the product for each one, just like we did in class today and tomorrow. The smaller answer indicates the limiting reagent and the amount of product that can be produced. So what does that look like? Okay, we are given the equation P4O2 plus O2 yields P4O10. Remember from your scavenger hunt, you guys all solved this, right? So you just need to refresh yourself. First step is to balance, so I balance that as 1P4 plus 5O2 yields P1P4O10. I have 10 O's on that side, 10 on this side, I'm good. 4 phosphates on that side, 4 on that side, I'm good. Determine the mass of P4O10 formed if you have 25 grams of phosphorus and 50 grams of oxygen are combined. So how do we begin? We begin by using, just go with the first given, 25 mils of phosphorus. Again, we need to change that into moles, just as we did, by dividing it by the molecular weight. And then we look at the ratio, 1 to 1. So 1 mole of P4O10 equals 1 mole of P4. And that then, what's the next step to get to grams? All you do is calculate the molecular mass of P4O10 and put it over 1 mole. All your units cancel, and you're left with grams. And that equaled 51.3 grams. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but with 50 grams of oxygen. So you have 50 grams of O2. Change that into moles. Remember, O2 is 16 plus 16 equals 32 grams. Your grams cancel. You're left with moles. It's a 5 to 1 ratio. Remember, we have 5 moles of O2 down there. We have 1 mole of P4O4 up there, so the units cancel. And we're left with moles of P4O10. We're almost done. Now what we do is convert it to grams like we've been doing. The moles cancel because it's over 1 mole, and you're left with grams. So we have 51.3 grams, we have 88.7 grams. So in this case, the phosphorus P4 is the limiting reagent. For number 2, on question number 2, just write down P4 is the limiting reagent. Okay,